Don in London, hello, March 3rd, 2010. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My addictive substance, alcohol, could have been anything. Only got as far as alcohol, really, in any sort of obsessive way. And behaviour, definitely obsessive. Work, relationships, trying to be perfect, because that's what I thought I ought to be. Of course, never perfect, and always striving and striving, but to a point which was at an extreme. So extreme behaviour, extreme outcomes, extreme feelings. So when drinking, I guess balance went out the window, and I was able to feel things, whereas before I only felt fear or emptiness, or didn't know how to feel at all. Somehow I lost that ability to learn early on how to not overcome feelings, but actually live feelings rather than actually endure feelings. So something not quite right in my education, if you like, but that's nobody's fault. That's just the way I grew up. We're not all gifted with an understanding of life. I don't think anybody is, but some of us take it to extremes. So from that first drink, it took the edge off me, made me feel happier, relaxed, joyful, and sad, but it was always at the extremes of these feelings because there was never any balance. So these days, with a little help from my friends and family and community and professionals, I keep a more even balance, one day at a time. So what is this friends element which helps me more than anything? Because sober, if I'm sober, then the rest of life is working. It's working as it can be, as life is, as my life experience is. Happy or sad, trudging this road of happy or unhappy destiny, full of potholes, puddles, you name it. We have life experience. And I was never much of a joiner when it came to being a part of. I guess I was a bit of a loner in many respects, because I didn't understand me or life particularly. So from a hardened drinker to a dependent drinker to an addicted drinker, or addicted beyond belief. And it broke me, and in the breaking of me, and it took a long time, I suddenly found that I could not live life on my own, and I couldn't find the answers on my own. So it was a bit of a hard shock. So from waking up every morning not wanting to wake up, to suddenly realising it couldn't get any worse, and if I looked for help or asked for help to try and resolve this issue of addiction, or at least understand what recovery is, just being in recovery one day at a time, with an illness which won't go away and is easy to go back to, as easy as a blink of an eye, I seem to be on track on a daily basis in recovery. And the people who help me most understand how to live in sobriety, once having got there, is a fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous. Coming back to recovery, fellowship, AA, the fellowship of AA keeps me on track a day at a time, and I share the statement of intent about AA here, a little bit about the daily reflections for today from the AA literature and what's impacting on my life at the moment. So, and also that it's the fellowship has a 12-step program, most of you know this if you're watching, about how to change our attitude and behaviour. So this month, March, is all about step 3, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But the AA statement of intent, and it reads like this: Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is the desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And in that, the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. And the AA tradition which goes with that is tradition 3, which reads: the only requirement for AA membership is a desire to stop drinking. So there is only one qualification, if you like, or our own personal acceptance that if we want to be a part of, we can, because we don't want to drink today. And we don't need to. And that was the greatest gift that somebody said to me in my early days. Well, you don't actually need to drink, do you? All you need to do is learn how to live life. And the gift is, once we start to understand that sober is okay, and that drink, having been our best friend which got us so far, is no longer our best friend, it's killing us, then we have an opportunity to make a choice. That is, to try out sober. What's it like to be sober? And do you know what? It's wonderful and horrible. Life is an oxymoron. It's wonderfully horrible. That's how it is. So this month, the step 3 for March, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. So 2 big problems for me with this step and the tradition of 3. First, I had to join a fellowship when I didn't want to join anything, and then find out that I was not so different from everybody else. Certainly wasn't special and different, but I thought I was. All I found out was I'm unique, authentic on my life path. Unique, authentic in one sense that it's only what I've got. But I'm not special and different, and the similarities were so shockingly true when it came to trying to find recovery that I was in a bind and I couldn't get out of it on my own. And here was a bunch of people with wisdom beyond my experience, and hundreds of years between them of being sober. What a gift! And this thing of God. God got me interested because I wanted my own God, or my own personal understanding, which was going to be more improved and better than anybody else's. And what I've come to understand is God is beyond definition. But there are 6.5 billion people on this planet with their own understanding of what God is or isn't. So it doesn't matter what other people think, it's how I understand a power greater than me for help, assistance and guidance. So fellowship, full of help, assistance and guidance, a higher power for me. The truth of living is often a higher power than me, because I'm learning what the truth is as I encounter it right now. So the truth is now. And God is love. Well, absolutely. As an understanding, a concept, an idea, God is love. God works through people, and God is truth. It makes it easier for me to live life in harmony and learn from what is around me, people, places and things. So I'm very, very fortunate. Anyway, today's reading in Daily Reflections, this one, which is very apt and pertinent to what I've just said. It says, overcoming self-will. So our troubles, we think, are basically of our own making. They arise out of ourselves, and the alcoholic is an extreme example of self-will run riot. That's my self-will ran riot, because it didn't know what else to do once addicted. Although he doesn't usually think so. Above everything, we alcoholics must be rid of this selfishness. We must, or it kills us, and that's what alcohol was doing to me. I thought I could overcome it, I couldn't. For so many years my life revolved solely around myself. I was consumed with self in all forms. Self-centeredness, self-pity, self-seeking, all of which stemmed from pride, or trying to be perfect. Today I have been given the gift, through the fellowship of AA, of practicing the steps and traditions in my daily life, of my group and sponsor, and the capacity, if I so choose, to put my pride aside in all situations which arise in my life. Until I could honestly look at myself and see that I was the problem in many situations, and react appropriately inside and out, until I could discard my expectations and understand that my serenity was directly proportional to them, I could not experience serenity and sound sobriety. So where it says about expectations, if I set them to 0 and then see what the day holds, I have a much better opportunity not to resent anything and to be surprised by what happens. So my time is just about up, and apologies for the gas man utilities being read in the middle. The serenity prayer, which helps me on a daily basis just to keep on track, and in the moment of now, to God or to good conscience, the one of your understanding, which is so important. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, for me, is just for today.